There's a truth about corporate life or work life in general, which I learned fairly quickly in my articleship journey. And that is that people, whether it's your colleagues or juniors, and especially your seniors, will take advantage of you if you let them. This is true for life in general, for everyone you meet in life, including your family and friends. However, when it comes to office, there is no relation of love. Instead, it's a work relation, it's a formal relation. If you don't agree with anything your boss says, you can't say anything back like you would to your sibling or to your parents. If you don't play by their rules, not only can they mess with your career at that firm, they can also try to sabotage your job switch to another company. But what can you do? In my 3 years of articleship, I got a lot of experience in how to navigate through a horrible work environment. Here's how my journey started. When I joined the office, I did what I was told to do, and my aim was to complete my task as soon as possible with the highest quality. But there was one problem. As soon as I finished one task, I was given more work because work in corporates is endless. It could be work which was allotted to some other colleague or which the senior was supposed to do himself or herself, but it is now expecting me to do. And seniors quickly realize which junior is good and which junior isn't. And they give more work to the ones who are efficient and effective because that is how they'll get their work done, right? You do get to learn a lot if you're a hard-working junior. But at what cost? What happens when your personal boundaries won't be respected? Getting called up for work at nights or on weekends or when you're going out for holidays, or getting called back from your CA final prep leave for a month, as in my case, or even when you're on your ICU bed in case of another EY employee. Out of those hardworking people, there are some who don't know how to say no to anything, and they don't even respect their own time. These people become prime targets for extreme exploitation. I had a senior just like that, and many of her seniors and even her colleagues took advantage of her sweetness. Then there are people who don't know how to say anything back to horrible comments or unnecessary scoldings or insults. These people become punching bags for their seniors. Not only do you need to protect your mental health, but if you're a CA final student or studying for any other course with your office, then you also need time for studying. I made some rules for protecting myself in such an environment, and those rules are as follows. I did whatever was needed to be done, but not more. Barring two situations where I went out of my way and asked to work on consolidated balance sheet and consolidated cash flow statements, I never took up more responsibilities than already given by my seniors. If I worked properly, then I knew workload will come to me sooner or later. Second, I learned how to delay delivery even if I finished early. Because if you finish your work early and submit it, two things will happen. One, you will be rewarded with more work. And two, expectations from you will now be higher with tighter deadlines. So, if you're thinking of submitting something early, remember that you should only do that if you're looking to get more work or if you're looking to spoil your seniors. Otherwise, relax a little bit or study for your CA final subjects if you have work from home. Third, meeting deadlines is important, but only if they are genuine and humanly possible. I have seen some seniors give a deadline of 2 days for a work which can be done in 2 weeks, just to put unnecessary pressure on their juniors and look good in front of their seniors. They give unreasonable deadlines which is not required by client or the firm, and even when you have ample time, you will get an idea which deadlines are genuine and which deadlines are not. And if some fake deadline is not achievable in the normal working hours, then become the bad guy and make some lame excuse for not delivering on time. Fourth, learn how to answer back. I'll give you an example. I did a stock count where I faced some issues at the beginning of the stock count. I called up my senior and discussed that issue with him, and whatever plan of action that he decided, I followed that only. After 3 weeks, there was some discussion with the management regarding the discrepancies in the quantities, and the management obviously said, you did not count correctly, our quantities are correct, you did not do your job well. My senior called me up and started blaming me that I did not do my job properly and that I just went there and had some fun. I told him about the issues, and he said, why did you not tell me about these beforehand? I said, I called you up on the day of that stock count, and I only proceeded with the stock count after discussing this issue with you. He said the client is saying we have counted the quantities incorrectly. So I showed him the stock sheet which I had signed and stamped by the employees of that company. He said, okay, great. You should have told me about this document before, and then he hung up. Whether you're at fault or not, people will try to blame you and they will try to insult you. If you have done your job correctly, then you have to speak up for yourself. If you don't, then you will become the punching bag. If you do, then they'll think twice before saying anything wrong to you. Fifth was asking the senior before starting a task. No matter what task you are assigned to do, your senior can find n number of reasons to say that you missed something and then insult you. That is because there are multiple ways to do some task or present some information. There are so many areas in which you could focus more and go more in depth. My simple hack, as you saw in that stock count example, was to ask everything in advance and only then proceed. Once the procedures have been discussed in advance with that senior, then he or she can't say that you did not do this or that. He's the one who gave the instructions. He's the one who missed it. Sixth is adding a 4-hour delay. Whenever someone would call me or message me at some odd hour on a weekend or on a holiday, I would never call back or message back for at least 4 hours. That was a reasonable time for me to say that I was not near my phone or it was on silent so I couldn't hear. And in case of an ad hoc job, somebody else must have been assigned by that time. Plus, even if I had to work after 4 hours, at least I was able to gain back some of my personal time this way. Seventh, never be at home. Even if you answer back after those 4 hours, always say you're outside, you're not at home, and when you will be home should depend on the urgency of the task, on the basis of genuine deadlines, not the fake ones. It became an instinct for me to say that I was not at home, I did not have my laptop, and I would be gone for the whole day. You can also spice things up by faking sickness on some days. And in case of very long holidays like year-end leaves or Diwali leaves, always say that you are going out of town and you won't have your laptop with you. Honesty is not the best policy, especially in corporates. Remember, Ashwathama mara gaya. Eighth is switch off your phone while sleeping. This is something that my friend did from day one of his articleship and something that I applied only for 1 month when situation got really bad. Switching off my phone became the only way to get a relaxed sleep. And when my seniors became ultra toxic, I even had to switch off my phone while going for dinner. I had a bad mobile service provider at that time and I used to just blame on the network that network nahi tha. And ninth, it's okay to disappoint your seniors at times. If you disappoint your seniors with your attitude or your answering back, then it's fine. These people do not care one bit about you and you do not need to lay down your life for them. These people can either mess with your promotion or with your life. And you can get another job, but you cannot get another life. My rules and tactics never backfired at me, and the reasons are probably because they knew the quality of my work and I had been a part of the team for a very long time. I still respected my work commitments even in the worst of times. I almost never said no. In all my rules, I was trying to avoid exploitation and not explicitly say no, because that would make me look bad. I had nothing to lose because there was no promotion or bonus I was working towards, and I was on Lone Star, so I could leave anytime I wanted, and I got lucky. I never tackled anyone head on except for one person, and that person ended up leaving the firm by the time I came back from my leaves. So despite messing with my seniors in a lot more number of ways than I have mentioned in this video, I never got released from the team because they knew that I would never compromise with genuine deadlines or with my work quality. If you're worried that these tactics would impact your learning or growth at the firm, then don't be, because as I said earlier, seniors will know if you know how to work or not, and they will give you quality work over time. If anything new or tough came my way, I would never say no, but rather I would ask questions and try to figure it out myself and get the job done. Because I was in stat audit, not in the army, and I knew that none of the tasks that I was allotted were impossible. Now, when should you quit your toxic job? As soon as possible. If your work culture is not good for you, if you don't feel like working, and if you're thinking about leaving, then you probably should. There is no other permanent solution to a toxic work culture. And since finding a job takes time, you should start looking for it ASAP. Not all corporates, all departments, or all teams are equally toxic. Some firms make it a priority to ensure their employees' mental health in actions and not just in words. There are some fields like stat audit which will be stressful no matter where you go, and then a lot depends on your team and your boss as well. When I started my articleship journey, I had come with a mindset that I will leave within the first year itself, like my sister did. But I ended up working under the best manager in that firm. And because the team was so great, I decided to stay. However, my manager left after 1.5 years, and for the second half of my articleship, I wanted to quit that firm every day. I did not do that because that felt like taking some shortcuts, and I only had to sit through 1.5 months of peak period. Plus, I had a lot of leaves coming up. like advanced ITT, MCS, and year-end leaves. But I was sure that I would leave that place and the audit field as soon as my articleship finished. Whether I became a CA or not was immaterial. This is because they truly messed with my mental health. I remember in 2021, I was having tea with my family one day, and as soon as my phone rang up, I felt a lot of anxiety that, oh shit, now again this weekend is also gone. I also remember one night in 2020 when I was going to sleep just before 12 o'clock at night, and I was happy that I was done with my work before 12 o'clock at night. And I knew in that moment that situation was not good. When I give job interviews after articleship, I always ask the interviewer how they ensured work-life balance in their company and what were the actual working hours. In case of a bad situation, they would either be very honest about it because they were just too proud, or they would try to sugarcoat it. If they had to think a lot about what they were going to say and try to be careful about how they were saying it, then I knew that it was sugarcoating. Deloitte IJV was the exception. As soon as I asked the question, the interviewers were actually excited about that question and ended up selling me on that point for 5 or 10 minutes. And that was a very important point for my decision to go to that firm. I hope that you will be able to find some relief from the toxicity of your work life using the rules that I've mentioned in this video. And if you have some rules or tricks of your own which you have implemented, then please share them in the comments so that everyone can use them. Drop a like, share this video with your friends, and for more such content, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.